A disastrous 2-on-1 date leads to a double elimination on this week's episode of The Bachelorette. Here's our recap of everything that went down. The June 25 episode of The Bachelorette brings Becca Cuffern and her suitors to Las Vegas. The first date is a one-on-one for Colton, who caused a bit of drama earlier in the season when he admitted he briefly dated Becca's friend, Tia Booth. Becca was able to look past the hookup, and their date begins with a romantic camel ride in the desert, followed by some quality time in the hot tub. Becca is admittedly feeling major chemistry with Colton, and their steamy makeout session is proof. Their connection proves to be emotional too, though. Over dinner, Colton opens up about getting broken up with by his last girlfriend. Could he be talking about Ailey Raceman and how she broke his heart? With their deep conversation and physical connection, it's no surprise when Becca ends the date by giving him a rose and assuring Colton that they're definitely on the same page when it comes to their relationship. Next up is a group date for Wills, Garrett, Blake, John, Connor, Leo, Lincoln, Jason, and Chris. That will leave enemies Jordan and David for the inevitable 2-on-1, yikes. On the group date, Becca and the guys are joined by singer Wayne Newton. He tasks them each with writing a romantic love song for Becca, then has them sing it in front of a live audience. The guys are mostly pretty terrible, but Chris closes the show with the most energetic performance of the night. It leaves him confident that he'll get the group date rose even when other guys get one-on-one time with Becca throughout the evening, while he's left waiting. Meanwhile, Blake takes advantage of his time by letting Becca know he's falling in love with her and assuring her that he actually means it, unlike Jean Blanc. The evening ends with Chris getting no solo time, and Becca gives the group date rose to Blake. Ahead of the 2-on-1, David and Jordan are both confident that they'll be the guy Becca picks to stick around. David gets his one-on-one time first, and he immediately uses it to warn Becca that Jordan isn't there for the right reasons. He even lets her know that Jordan has expressed interest in other women since the show began. She confronts Jordan about it, and he denies David's accusations, calling him a liar. Jordan also sets out to prove that there's more to him than just being the funny guy by opening up about his childhood and his mother's struggle with mental illness. While Becca sorts out her thoughts, Jordan and David go at it once again. Becca brings the guys together to try and work things out, but it leads to Jordan and David both loudly talking over her and each other. She's frustrated and annoyed by the situation and storms off as they continue arguing. By the end of the daytime portion of the date, Becca sends David home, but she isn't ready to give Jordan the rose yet either. She wants to dive deeper with him over dinner, but all he seems to be able to do is talk about his modeling career rather than their relationship. At the end of the day, Becca just does not see a connection with Jordan like she does with the other guys, and she sends him home. Meanwhile, after the group date, Chris changes his tune completely and is now convinced that he'll be going home at the next rose ceremony. In fact, he's so worried and frustrated that he even considers leaving the show himself. Becca catches wind of these thoughts, so she pulls Chris aside at the cocktail party to get to the bottom of it. She admits that she's confused about why Chris didn't go out of his way to get time with her on the group date. He tries to assure her that he's fully committed to their relationship, but his lack of action earlier in the week does not leave her convinced. Later, Chris interrupts Becca's one-on-one time with Wills to get another minute of alone time to explain himself. When Chris overstays his welcome, Wills gets annoyed, and it leads to some tension between the guys right in front of Becca. Before the rose ceremony, Chris finally gets time to open up to Becca about why he acted the way he did and apologize for it. With Colton and Blake already safe, Becca gives the remaining roses to Garrett, Jason, Wills, Lincoln, Leo, Connor and